Hi there, today I'm going to explain a little bit about the game Splendor. It's not this particular game, although it's quite interesting to collect gemstones from to recruit different artisans, the character cards, and to collect infinity points and bonuses. But this is not the game I'm going to present, but it's the basic game. It's the game with the superheroes, Splendor Marvel. It's a quite interesting game because it has the basic methods of the basic game with the artisans. So let's have a look at the game with the superheroes. Are quite interesting because you also have to collect the gemstones like these ones, different gemstones, and then you can find out the different cards, the superheroes. So they are quite a lot of cards of superheroes, and I haven't even found Superman between them. Uh, that's normally the one most people are fond of, but I at least found the Hulk and Spider-Man, so that's quite intriguing. I'm going to start a little bit about the game setup now. So I promise you to explain a little bit about the basics and the necessities of the games. But as we have seen, this is a game about the superheroes. So tada! There are quite a lot of superheroes in the game. Um, I'm not going to find out all the cards, the names of all the cards. There are more than hundreds of cards. Like this is the card with the Hulk. It's quite a nice card. And on this card you can see the Hulk. When you collect the card with the Hulk, it is worth 3 points. And you need 4 different types of gemstones to collect these cards. And there are quite a lot of different gemstones of each color. And there are also a lot of different other types of things on this card. I'll explain this later. These are 2 Avenger icons and a green icon. This is one of the cards that has one of the fewest cards that has a green icon. So, and this is also necessary to end the game. So you should always try to collect one card with this kind of token, with this kind of bonus, a green icon on it. And there's also the purple bonus. The purple bonus is included in this card, and it replaces when you're further in the game, it replaces one purple gemstone. So this is very interesting because when you have several cards with bonuses that are already in the gameplay, you don't need to have one of these gemstones. You can just have your own cards with the bonus, with this bonus, and you can collect any other card for free. That's a little bit too much explained. I'm having some other cards here, like this one is Thor. Thor is also very powerful. Wow, only 3 points, but it has also a green icon on it and 2 Avenger cards. The 2 Avenger bonuses are necessary to meet another tile. This is the Avenger tile. You've got to have three of these icons on your cards to obtain this card, and then you have 3 points, but these points are not permanent. Whenever another person gets 3 other icons, you have to give it to the other person that recently obtained the new obtained Avenger points, so it's a little bit variable, maybe a little bit difficult, but that's not that's not that strange, is it? It should be a little bit difficult. Why not? And oh, I found them. the I don't know. It's the same. This is a Spider-Man. This is a Spider-Man. This is a different Spider-Man. I haven't found the other ones. But Spider-Man 2099, the future Spider-Man, and these this card got two necessities. You need only 2 yellow and 1. It costs only 2 yellow and 1 red gemstone. So it's quite an easy card to obtain. And there's also a blue gemstone on top. This is the bonus of the card, what replaces it with a normal stone. So you don't need to have another stone whenever you've already obtained this card. It's for free to have 1 gemstone. It replaces 1 gemstone to buy another card later on in the game. There's also the Spider-Woman. The Spider-Woman. Oh, this one. The Spider-Woman has got the Avenger symbol. Whenever you've got 3 Avengers icons, you obtain the Avenger tile. And Spider-Woman is a little bit more difficult to obtain. 5 gemstone tokens. It's quite difficult to obtain. I'm not going to explain the other cards. These are quite a few hundred hero cards. The hero cards are going to be put in a grid on the table to choose from. Then so you've got the basic stones, the red, the blue, the orange, the purple and the yellow stones. These are the normal stones which you can obtain to get you can collect these stones to pay for your cards, the cost of your card. So it's necessary to collect these stones first. There are also the case of green and gray stones. The grain stones can be obtained in the abnormal case when you're reserving a card. So if you're not able to buy a card, you can just choose one of the cards in the gameplay and you can put them beside. You don't need to collect them directly, and you got the possibility to take a gray shield token. The shield token is like a little bit like a joker. It can be it can represent the stone of any type of color from red to yellow, so it's quite interesting. But you can only take 1 great token per turn when you reserve a card. The problem is not that you cannot reserve as much as any cards. There's no limit in reserving cards. You can reserve as much cards as you want, as you like, as you wish. That's not a problem. And at the end there's no fine, because you can collect as many reserved cards as possible. Maybe also to to have another player not take that card, but anyway it's not fine, so you cannot get points less if you reserve too much cards. That's not a problem. While collecting your gemstones, your tokens as we call it, You cannot collect more than 10 tokens in your own collection. That's the limit. And there's also the case that we're having the green tokens. Might be possible. There is an in the rules set, there is the case that you could only have one green token, and the green token never can be returned. You can only buy you can only buy with the other tokens and the joker, not with the green card. And as we said earlier, on the card of the Hulk, for instance, there is a green icon. Whenever you obtain this card, you pay for this card, you also obtain the green icon. And this is one of the possibilities. One green icon is one of the necessities to reach the end of the game. So the end of the game is triggered when a person has 16 points worth in their character cards. So you have to count your cards, the value of the card, like the infinity points. This is only one. So this is not much worth, but and this is worth 4 points. And whenever you've collected 16 points and 5 different cards with at least one bonus of the stones in different colors, and one red and one green color, then this person has triggered the end of the game, and they've got to play this round, and then they have to count their points, their end result. Then there are also the location tiles, so you can always collect the cards and pay the cost, but there's also a possibility to reach the location tiles. Atlantis, for instance. Atlantis is you can collect Atlantis after your turn, so it's for free whenever you have 9 different tiles, 9 different gemstones of 3 different colors. And then you can take this location tile, and this is also a permanent location tile whenever you've got the blue, the red and the purple stones. So this is not really a problem in the game. It's quite a fun game. And there's also the case of the Avenger tile, which was kind of a variable tile because other persons could take it after you've obtained it, because they also would have kind of Avenger icons on the new obtained cards. So that's quite funny, but it's quite a little bit trickier because sometimes it triggers the end of the game and sometimes not, because it's certainly worth the point, 3 points in this game. Quite funny. I'm going to help you a little bit further in the game. It's not that magic. I've put 3 different types of hero cards, and I've placed 4 face-up cards of each color of cards, and this way we're going to collect cards. The players can take cards from the game within the limit of the face-up cards, and when he takes a card and he pays, we have to replace the card. So that's the only thing we need to do. Of course, we want the card with the biggest points. Maybe this one, 5, and a green icon. Okay, this is a card which is reserved to have only one time. If you already collect one of these cards with the green type, you've got not really. You cannot collect another green icon. I don't see any other rule that is limiting the other cards, but it's possibly limited to one card with a green icon to collect a green stone, of course. But anyway, the people are going to collect cards, but first they need to collect the stones. How is this going to be done? There are different gameplay actions during the game. You have the possibility to take 3 different tokens of 3 different colors. So it's a kind of a methodology. Not really scientific methodology, but it's a method you have to try. There needs to be 3 different colors. If there are only 2 different colors available, you have to take only 2 stones, and if there's only one type of color, you can only take one stone within the 3 colors you need to take. If that's not the case, you can also take 2 tokens of the same color, and then there have to be four tokens, minimum 4 tokens within that type of color. So, and then the person who's taking his turn can take 2 yellow stones in their own collection. Then there are also 2 other types of taking cards and stones, and that's the one with the gray shield. Not already discussed that, I think. Oh yes, I did. This is the Joker type. This is represents any type of color that it can be, so it can be replaced whenever you need to pay a card the cost of different types of stones for cards in the game. And this is quite interesting, and you can obtain this card when you are going to reserve any card. So you're collecting your stones. You have different stones in your own collection. Let's do it like this. There's already 3 different types of stones. It's not yet interesting to have any, and maybe there are already some other colors that are left out the game. They are obtained by other players, and they didn't return yet in the market of other color of stones. So maybe we need to have a gray shield, a gray joker, and yes, then we do that by reserving a card. And I'm not really. This is an interesting one. The Daredevil. You need 6 red stones. They are not yet available, but I'm very, very willing to have this kind of card with the Daredevil. Very nice. And of course, it gets me 3 points and an extra red icon later on. I'm going to reserve this, and I'm taking 1 gray token, and this token can be replaced with any other color. Of course, I'm going to replace the orange cards. that's no problem. And the last action we can take is we're going to buy any of the cards in the gameplay, any of the 12 cards. We cannot take any of the face down cards from the decks, only the face up cards, or any cards I've already reserved. Then I have to check if I've got this one in my collection. No, not yet. Then I can take any of the other cards, and maybe I don't have it's not really visible at the moment, but let's say I'm having 2 red and 1 gray. That's then it's possible to pay this one 3 red. It represents 3 red, and then I can pay this one because it requires 3 gemstones, and it's also got the bonus of 1 yellow bonus, so it represents 1 yellow stone from now on. So this one gets to be in your collection, the card, and it represents 1 yellow gemstone. As an extra gemstone, permanent gemstone. You don't lose this one. You don't need to pay it and give it back to the bank. So you've already obtained this one as a permanent gemstone. That's the advantage of these cards. There's an extra gemstone in the game. Then you've also got to take a look at these location tiles on top, because it's it's quite interesting, because when someone reaches the bonuses obtained, we got to have the bonus on the cards, of course. And whenever we got the bonus on the cards, not the gemstones in front of me, then we can obtain the location tile. And it's not really obtained yet. It's a difficult target sometimes. This is much difficult. 9 and this is also difficult. This is all a little bit. Well, this is 8 and this represent 12 gemstone bonuses, but it's only possible whenever you collect your cards with the bonuses on it, and then you can, after your turn, you have to check if you've already reached the target of those bonuses. Then there's also the case of the Avenger tiles. The Avenger tiles are not permanent in your own collection because they can move around the game. You've got to check if you obtain 3 icons in your collection, then you directly obtain this card. But when the next person in the next turn obtains also the 3rd Avenger Avenger tile, then he can also obtain the card from you, and it moves to the next person that wins the 3 icons, and it moves on and on until someone someone else has not yet reached it. It's kind of difficult to explain, but it's it's a not permanent tile. It can move around from person to person, and they can win an extra of 3 points, 3 infinity points. The end of the game is triggered at the certain point when they when you've already collected a lot of points, and I'm not directly find the right, yes, like this kind of points 3. So I'm having 3 points, and this is worth 5 points, and the total should be 16. And whenever there are 16 points and uh, 6 cards of the 6 different types of colors, minimum 1 of each, then the end of the game is triggered, and just each person has to do his turn, and then the points are counted, and the game stops. And that's the intriguing game of Splendor Marvel. I think this game about collecting your own hero cards has quite a lot of hero cards, so it's quite intriguing. Uh, the the basic game with the artisans, might be the same. It's also intriguing. It's even more interesting than this rather strange hero game. But I think if you're a fan of heroes, it's quite nice to collect all the hero cards. There are hundreds of hero cards, and you can collect a lot of stones and use your joker to find out how to pay your hero of your choice, and to go on and collect other bonuses, and then have this the same mechanism as the basic game, but it's quite a different layout, quite a different strategy maybe. It might be the same at first, but when you're busy collecting inside this newly built game, it's quite fascinating to find out more about your own heroes, and you don't have the other insight of the artisan of the basic Splendor game, so it might be quite different for some people. For me it is different. It's quite interesting. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave them aside my video, and thanks for watching.